Good evening, race fans, and welcome here to GOGH Home qualifying for race number 8 of the 2025 edition of the WRA Oreo Cup Series. As GOGH Racing is the first car on track, just as the clock began to tick down. We're here live at the Homestead Miami Speedway, getting ready for tonight's race here at the Homestead Miami Speedway here in Homestead, Florida. First time we're racing in Florida since the Daytona 500 weekend. As GOGH Racing will be the first driver to start on the clock. We have 21 Go or Go homers. We have Ari Springer this week in the 49. Callie will be back starting at Pocono next week as Carolina Bradley getting a little squirrely coming out of the pits. As GOGH Racing, first lap on the board is a 28.717 for the Jelly Belly Honda Accord out of Daniel Voiles Racing. We had our first Go home driver go to victory lane last week at home or at New Hampshire, being Eric Monaco. There's Liliana Beta. Back in the 88 this week, Carolina Bradley. Daniel Voiles made his debut. There's Sam Tenley, Leo Hill, Annie Thomas this week in the 50. There's Ari Springer, we just mentioned. Morgan Henderson in the 67, trying to make her first career Oreo Cup Series start. Driving the second Red Dragon Racing Machines. That is a partnership with 2311 Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing, sponsored by Sunoco. There's Isaac Willis, Remy Crampton, the 13, Donovan Dixon, Carmen Alejandro, 61 of Desiree Voiles. This week's driver of the 55 is rookie Monica Towns, former Buffalo Wild Wings Series champ. Drove the number 13 Ford Mustang in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series en route to her first career championship. It is her only championship on this channel to date. Now driving the Safelite Toyota SXE for Tricon Garage in that 55. Of course, we saw Katie Waters try to make her debut last week. Did not make the show, unfortunately. There's Kaylee Rankin. Cheyenne Berkshire by virtue of Liliana Beta having her time disallowed. Got to make her debut last week at Loudon. Liliana Beta this week in the 88 machine. She will turn it over to Ingrid Pollard next week at Pocono. There's Eric Monaco, last week's winner. Currently 21st quickest. That is the slowest of the Go homers. Eric Monaco gained 6 spots up to 11th in the points. Actually need to read the points rules about the 2014 point system. And it says, let's see here. As used in Sprint Cup. It doesn't say, or actually, no, let me go to my NASCAR 20. Let me go what the 2014 points system is. There we go. As Eric Monaco, 28.327, currently the slowest. Gene Evans is now the fastest in this session. There he is. Right now, Scarlett Wallace has the final transfer spot. Liliana Beta in the show as of now. Jessica Shelton also in the show. She is yet to make a race this season. And of course, what the rules state right here in front of me is that if you have a win with the most race wins, is that drivers with that said drivers are in the top 30 in points and have attempted to qualify for each race, which Eric Monaco has attempted to qualify for every race. The only race he may not attempt to qualify would be Germany, but they may allow him to attempt that race, which we'll have to wait and see if he will be eligible to have that win last week at Homestead, or last week at Loudon, to count for a playoff berth. Something tells me he may not be eligible, which if that is indeed the case, that's a tough break, but we will see Eric Monaco in the All-Star race. Right now, Monica Towns currently the fastest in this session, right in front of Gene Evans. Monica has been waiting for this moment to go up to a Cup Series. And right now, as Sam Tenley goes quickest, 27.730. Those are the top of the timesheets. That bumps Kaylee Rankins out of the show for the time being. That was a quick lap for that 60 machine. He's failed to qualify for most races, and when he has qualified, he's done okay. There he is in that. Sam Tenley has not made a race since, I want to say, Las Vegas. He made Daytona. He made Las Vegas. He's failed to qualify for every other race since, which is a tough break for that Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Of course, this car right here is going full-time next season in the Oreo Cup Series, the 60 that he's driving right now. So this is the only year that car would be a go or go homer, because this time next year, that car is full-time. Being drafted by Daniel Voiles, currently 27.911 in P11. And now he jumps up to fourth quickest, a 27.806. He's been using that 60 car in the draft, and that's really what's helping him. That knocks Jessica Shelton outside looking in. Of course, Eric Monaco has had one DNQ so far. He's right now in danger of a second, because he's now the slowest of the 21 that we have on track. But Sam Tenley is the quickest, and there's GOGH Racing. This is something we're going to be keeping our eyes on during the course of this race weekend. Trying to get onto pit road for green flag pit stops, which is going to be something. There's Monica Towns getting back out onto the track. Looks like Annie Thomas could face her first DNQ of the season. Shelton now drops down to 8th quickest. Kaylee Rankin moved up. That puts Daniel Voiles on the bubble. That puts the 67 of Morgan Henderson on the outside looking in with 5 minutes left to go in the session. Daniel Voiles Wills trying to make his second race in a row. Made Loudon last week, but didn't get the finish he was hoping for, even though he's ineligible to make the playoffs because he has not attempted any races until he started attempting Richmond. So he would not be eligible for the playoffs, even though, to be fair, he wasn't even going to attempt every race anyway. So what difference does that make? Of course, he wanted to give other drivers a chance to run. Of course, this would be Voiles' last attempt, at least for now. He will not attempt another race until the Coke 600. He'll still attempt Kansas and Texas, as you see, Remy Crampton right behind Jessica Shelton did not improve. Remy Crampton has failed to qualify every race ever since Atlanta when she started DNQing races. Of course, next week we head to the Pocono Raceway. Annie Thomas will attempt Pocono. Betty Johnson will attempt Germany. That is the following week's race. Of course, there is no Red Bull GT Series race this week. They are off this week. We will see Callie Springer in that car starting at Pocono. Jessica Shelton, still 9th quickest. Isaac Willis, 12th quickest right now. Kaylee Rankin now on the bubble because the 18 is now 2nd quickest. That is Cheyenne Berkshire, who's trying to make her 2nd race in a row. Eric Monaco up to 16th quickest, but he needs to get into the Fast 6. Or it'll be the second time he will fail to qualify for this season. Excuse me. And with him failing to qualify, it's not doing his chances of trying to stay in the top 30 in owner points any bit of good. So that is never a good thing, if you ask me. Oh, we're 4 wide. Beta Racing and Dixon 4 wide. Dixon backed off. Wisely backs off. We're down to less than 2 minutes to go in the session. And of course, we're going to have it on times 2, the fuel cell. So these drivers are going to have to make a pit stop. Oh, that will cause chaos. And Sean loves chaos. Right now, Scarlett Wallace needs to find 8 1000s because Daniel Voiles is now in the final transfer spot. Liliana Beta made the show last week only to get disqualified for failing post-qualifying inspection. She will race at Germany to make it up. Monica Towns, 27752, who just jumped up. That would be the 81 of Geisha Racing. That bumps Daniel Voiles out of the Fast 6, puts the 67 of Morgan Henderson on the bubble. Oh boy, these times are getting pretty quick in these later stages of knockout qualifying for the night's Ford EcoBoost 400, or is it a different race name? Let me actually look at the race name. No, it's the Straight Talk Wireless 400 is what it's called. Either way, we look forward to tonight's race at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for WRA Night in Americas. That is it for qualifying. If you're on a fast lap, you better make sure you are in the show. If you're not on a fast lap, you might be in trouble. Daniel Voiles has got to find a 10th, and he does not. I think the 67 is going to breathe a sigh of relief. And it looks like we have our field for this evening's race. As they're down to 20 seconds, looks like the times will not count. And it will not count. So Sam Tenley has not raced since Las Vegas. He will make the show this week. Jean Evans, Cheyenne Berkshire will make her second race in a row. Monica Towns will have Tricon Garage make their Oreo Cup Series debut. Congratulations to them. GOGH Racing and Morgan Henderson will make her debut tonight here this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not make tonight's race will be Daniel Voiles, Scarlett Wallace, Kaylee Rankin, Liliana Beta. We will see her in Germany when she's going to race that race. She will be the only open car entered in that race. Ari Springer, Donovan Dixon, Jessica Shelton, Remy Crampton, Leo Hill, another DNQ. Isaac Willis, Eric Monaco, that's his second DNQ of the season. Annie Thomas, that's her first. Desiree Voiles, Carmen Alejandro, and Carolina Bradley. Those are the drivers who will not be in tonight's race. So that is going to do it for Go or Go Home qualifying. We'll see you guys tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to find out who's going to win the Straight Talk Wireless 400. If you enjoyed this Go or Go Home session, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA and WRA crew today. As you've been watching another broadcast of PCSRA TV and WRA, the greatest racing since 2013, and we celebrate 15 years as the best in our racing since 2017.